Oh, yeah, we are back, bitches. There goes the algorithm. You're not supposed to cuss within the first 30 seconds. You're not supposed to do a whole bunch of other stuff within the first 30 seconds. But screw that. We're back, bitches. Oh, man. What a night. What a night. What a night. We are live from the North Woods of Wisconsin. This is the Eden Army Podcast, and I'm your host, Pete Robertucci. It's good to be back with everybody. Guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share everything you see on our social media platforms because that helps get the algorithm out. You guys sharing some of this stuff I've been putting out has been blowing up the algorithm, so we're reaching more people, right? And that's the whole goal of this podcast, other than hanging out with a bunch of the cool kids. I think the goal is to get the word out about preparedness and stuff like that. So very cool. Russ says he killed Kick on his end in the middle of my monologue and blah, 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 blah. A lot of stuff. But being up here hasn't just been fun and UTV trails and stuff like that. We've been putting in some work. I think in the last couple of days, I got about 10,000 words in on the fourth edition of the Eden series, and then we're going to roll right in to the Birchwood series after that. You can probably hear Toby barking in the background, so he's a little more spry up here in the North Woods. But guys, don't forget, I would like to thank Tom, Bryce, Agnes, Matthew, Opie, Guy, and Dan for your resubscription. Also, we should note that Miss Melissa told me to get on Terry's Amazon author page because she's been a little busy bee putting some stuff out that you know promote the tribe. So look for Miss Terry's stuff that she's been putting out on her Amazon page. So there's been some really cool stuff that she's doing, and she is a busy bee, and it's good for her. The man, there is a lot to go over in the 2 weeks that I've been driving up here to the Northwoods. But tonight we are going to be talking about the citizens of UK have had enough with the immigrants there and their crime spree. So we're going to talk about that. There's an incident that happened that needs to be talked about. And is the UK doing what the United States probably needs to do now? The citizens, I should say, not the government. That's for damn sure. The framework is in for the Iran peace deal, and I'd like to get your thoughts on it. I've got them all broken down here, all the bullet points and all that. Tell me what you think. I have my opinion on it, but I value y'all's opinion. So, got another chat here. There, nope, Russ got that one. Good. What else? Oh, this is a big one. Leftist terrorists plan to attack to the UFC 250 anniversary thing. Russ, don't even worry about throwing stuff up. I'll take care of it. But that was thwarted by the FBI, and you'd be surprised who the alleged ringleader was, or maybe you wouldn't be surprised. I wasn't surprised. Tulsi Gabbard finally releases information about U.S. biolabs abroad and the previous administration's effort to hide them, which kind of makes a little bit of sense with why we might have been sending some money to the Ukrainians. We'll see. I also want to know your guys' opinions and thoughts on episode 1 of the new Alone series, which our good friend Jack Scanego was in. What you guys thought of it, and let's put it out there. Who you think's going to win this season? Make it known. Stand by your guns. And of course, after all this time, you should certainly have a few preps of the week. And I'm not, maybe not one, maybe not two, but you should have a few of them. But first, if you haven't gotten your food for thought manual yet, here is a little reminder.
Food for Thought is the third installment in the Eden Army Survival Series, focusing on one of the most critical elements of long-term preparedness: food. This manual breaks down the reality of food preservation and storage without relying on theory or assumption. Beyond preservation, this manual addresses the factors that determine whether stored food is truly effective. Caloric requirements, nutritional balance, safe handling practices, and proper rotation are treated as essential components, not afterthoughts. The goal is to move beyond stockpiling and toward building a system that functions under pressure. Food for Thought is designed to provide clear, usable information that can be applied in real conditions. It emphasizes preparation, discipline, and understanding over convenience. This manual is not about excess, it is about readiness.
Russ, what's going on, brother?
Oh, another day in the lovely North Woods, brother. As compared to
Indeed.
yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday rained pretty much all day, didn't
Pretty
it?
much all day, yeah. It
That's
was
right.
nice out. It was a beautiful day, 65, balmy 65. It was nice out.
Yeah, that was a cold front coming through, a cold front in the middle of friggin' June, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think I ended up in the 40s or something last night, which was kind of nice, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It did cost me my canopy, my pop-up. It shit the bed on me. So we took it down and tossed it in the dumpster just today. But it is what it is.
Yep. It is what it is. Well, that thing made it through a couple seasons, which is
It did.
good.
I mean, considering how long I keep it up, I got my money's worth out of it.
Oh yeah, there's a lot. There were so many news things I could have pulled for this week, but I'm like, I'm not pulling them all. And plus, I was up late last night watching that damn Alone series because I missed the first airing. Me and Melissa were at Chit Chat. I forgot, and so when we got home, it was like an hour and a half long.
Yeah, I think it was an hour and a half to almost 2 hours. The premiere was pretty long.
Yeah, but the folks at Chit Chat were happy to see us and wanted to know when the next Birchwood book was at. And
heard
the
that a
new
lot.
owners at Chit Chat, I found out were ribbing the old owners at a golf match the other day. Golf match or the cornhole, I can't remember what he said, but he just kept calling them a dirty apron man, which I forgot I called him that in my book. So that guy probably is gonna hate me right now.
Yeah.
Oh, you
He'll
see
definitely
now
hate you after book 3.
now when you star them, it puts a little pin next to it now, so I
Yep.
know it was starred. That's cool. So we know which ones to get to. So Russ, let's jump into the news real quick because we do have about 4 or 5 things that I want to talk about. But I really want to
Absolutely.
talk about what's going on in Belfast. Apparently there was not apparently, we have video, but there was an attack where an illegal immigrant attacked one of the locals there, 44-year-old Stephen Ogilvy, and it was an attempted beheading,
Yep.
which what ended up happening, thank God he didn't succeed, but the man ended up losing his sight in one eye, and surprise, surprise, surprise. The guy charged with it was a 30-year-old Sudanese asylum seeker. I like how they say asylum seeker. I'm looking for asylum here. No, I'm looking to commit the same crimes that I couldn't get away with in my other country because your legal system is so lax in the UK and the United States. So I want to come do what I will. But after the video came out, Belfast saw nights of anti-immigration rioting, not anti-crime rioting, anti-immigration rioting, burned cars, immigrants' homes were attacked, and police were forced to the street in armored vehicles and water cannons. Let me ask you guys. Well, let's run the video first, and then we're gonna talk about this a little bit.
It pales into significance, though, when you consider what's playing out in Northern Ireland and parts of the UK. People gathering on the streets, police again coming under attack in the latest incidents. Now, of course, it follows that horror attack, a near beheading of a man at the alleged hands of a Sudanese refugee. And meanwhile, 5 men have been jailed following violent protests linked to the murder of Henry Nowak. Sky News contributor Adrian Hayes happens to be in Hampshire, where some of those riots have taken place. Adrian, things relatively quiet now, or is there still a lot of anger around?
Well, as you said, Steve, in Northern Ireland, the riots were pretty serious, and some, the thuggery sort of took hold a bit on that. But of course, Northern Ireland is not, is not new to riots. The protests on the streets and riots are something that's been throughout their history. But it was pretty serious. But I think the anger on the streets is really twofold. One, this incident in Northern Ireland, this asylum seeker who tried to behead a man on the streets. There's an anger about it. If it was just one event, I think there'd be, a sort of sporadic anger come to the fore straight away. But it's because this sort of thing is happening weekly. In fact, daily in the case of assaults and crimes on the, in London, I think 75% of all arrests are illegal immigrants. But there's the anger of that, but there's also the anger against the political establishment, their response to it.
So their response to it is, look away, nothing to see here, it would seem, from the Starmer government. I mean, this has been going on for years, it would seem, month after month after month. You've still got boats coming across the channel with illegals on board. Many of these illegals, as you've told me before, get housed in hotels. They get, welfare straight away. When they start to turn on the very people that have given them a new home, and they do it violently, that's a different story.
Russ, I pulled some stats. Since 2020 in the UK, rape offenses are up 34.5%. Other sexual offenses are up, I don't know what that means, maybe goats, 39.6%. Violence without injury up 12.7%. Stalking and harassment up 25.8%. Domestic abuse, and this is reported domestic abuse, because a lot of times it's just everyday thing for those Muslims, is up 9%. So at what point, Russ, at what point do normal society in general see what Islamic immigrants are doing to first world countries, and they actually stand up like the people now in Ukraine, Belfast, are actually do that? When do we see that, and not be considered Islamophobic? I don't know.
Well, I hate to put it this way. It needs to start happening to the folks on the other side of the aisle, and have it publicized more often that it happens to them, and then we might see some change. Over in Belfast, that country has been war torn for years, and then we've had a relatively 30 or 40-year peace now, since peace accords over there. But there's still that animosity over there between the Protestants and the Catholics, and it's bringing them together.
It is bringing them together. It's the 9/12 syndrome all over again. Yeah, we have a common enemy. So now we stand together.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend type thing.
So what actually is happening now is they're shipping all of those immigrants that they're worried about into London and stuff like that. So what do you think is going to happen to crime in those particular cities?
It's going to go up. I fully believe it's going to go up, but maybe it'll wake them up, because they're having some shakeups over there in their parliament as well because of all this.
They're not only in the parliament, but also high-ranking generals. Defense Secretary in the UK stepped aside because he felt like the government didn't have the citizens' best interest in mind by allowing all these illegal immigrants asylum seekers into the country. Still there, Russ?
Yes,
Patrick. There was something.
Okay, I knew I was lagging. So
yeah, they are. And look, what do you expect, guys? What do you expect? They're gonna go look, and I certainly those Irish people. You don't want to mess with them. They've been itching for a fight, and they're not afraid to get on social media and show you their gear and tell you what they're going to do with it.
I mean, there's a new group of folks that all they knew was the history of the Troubles over in Ireland, and they agree with it, and they're itching. They're itching to get into the fray.
Yeah, and you see that you have a lot of really disenfranchised people in some of those countries, and now, much like we saw here in the United States, the illegal immigrants slide in. They take any benefits that might be afforded to legal citizens, and they get treated like second class, third class citizens in some instances. So I don't know.
Absolutely.
Oh, let's see. What did Patrick say? Patrick said Fib and him are working on some t-shirts. Oh God, I can only imagine. Just whatever you do for Obama with the hat with the asterisks and stuff like that, just do one of those, Patrick, and we'll know it came from you. Just Obama is a hashtag asterisk. No, there's no truth to that. Oh, let's talk about that UFC thing just for 1 second. I'm not going to talk about the terrorist thing yet, Russ. But here's the thing: liberals were look. We want to bring in the transvestite community. We want to be all inclusive of everybody. But then you call one of them a transvestite, and they lose their friggin' minds, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
But I know we're going to cover the terrorist plot, but how much more American can you get to have a UFC fight on the White House grounds? I mean, Teddy Roosevelt did it.
Sure.
And then on top of all that, they had motorcycles doing backflips and everything else. I mean, that's as American. That is America.
Yeah. And baby girl asked me, she at one point she goes, did Trump do that because it was his birthday or what was going on? Because that's what the media is spinning. And of course he did it a little bit because of that, but he also did it to promote the 250-year anniversary of the United States, right? But how does it look? What are the theatrics behind it? It does look like he did it for his birthday, but taxpayers did fit some of the bill for that, those flyovers and stuff like that. But the UFC fitted most of the bill, and they redid the lawn in the White House and all that stuff. So let's
That's
see.
what I said, Patrick. I said America.
Exactly. What did Will say here? Right here. So this as well as I do. Their motto over there is women are for breeding, boys are for pleasure. That's not made up. That's real. You know that as well as I do. If you spent any time over there, which you have, that's exactly what they think. And I don't remember which night it was. It was either Friday night or Saturday night where all the interpreters and stuff like that went to do their man-on-man thing. So they had the night off. And I don't remember who was telling me that. I don't think it was you, Russ. I think it was no, it was a guy I trained with down in Florida.
Yeah, but that's the truth. We saw it happen over there.
This shirt, Will, I don't know where I got this shirt from. I think Chrissy or Guy.
Is that the one that it says what?
That's what I do. I drink bourbon. I hate people, and I know things. That's what the bottom part says with a bear. So let's see. I'm going through chat, guys. I'm getting my feet wet again.
Yeah, I don't disagree with Patrick.
Ramona.
He said that the 4th is going to be amazing. I'm a little concerned about it from a possible things that could happen standpoint. But keep your head on a swivel during that time, folks.
Well, and I thought that today during that Knicks ticker tape parade would be a perfect opportunity, but apparently the Joint Terrorism Task Force did a good job and kept everything subdued. After watching the Knicks win and what the citizens did to their own city, and then you line up almost 1 million people, it's a Boston Marathon thing happening all over again.
Well, and kind of speaking of, I think this is what you're talking about. The Knicks won, and they destroyed and trashed the city. Then Japan goes and wins in the World Cup, and their fans and the players stayed and picked up the stadium. What does that say?
What it says is maybe we need to nuke New York City, because clearly that teaches them a little bit of a lesson and teaches them some manners. Just kidding, algorithm. I'm just kidding. I don't promote nuking New York City.
But they talked about it. They talk about it. I think it might have been last night on Chris's podcast. Talked about the fact that all of these countries are coming over here, and they were told before they left their countries you don't want to go there because it's not safe and the people are nasty and they're mean to you. And everybody that's been interviewed that you see on social media, they're like, man, we love this place. The people are nice. They wave, say hi when you're walking down the street. It's, and that's exactly it.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that, because Los Angeles, when Xi Jinping came into town, they cleaned up the city in its entirety. It looked great. However, during the World Cup, there were some independent reporters running around with tourists walking by, people that were ODing on the ground, people that were methed up, people that were. Yeah, so that shows the priorities of Los Angeles and California in general, I reckon. So nuke them from orbit. It's the only way to be sure. Agreed.
Yeah.
I don't.
Patrick Seven wants to go escape from New York on them, build a big wall around it and let it be a self-solving problem.
Yeah, do that, and then hopefully the fault line that's right on the California border goes ahead and ruptures and drops them into the sea. That'd be cool. Well, I'm foul tonight, right? I'm being mean. I shouldn't be
I
so
know,
mean.
right? I mean, are you ready? You must be ready to go sit in on at the UN for all the Iran talks that they're doing right now.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what actually happens with that, but it's a good segue because there is a latest information on now this is not a peace treaty, guys, between the Trump administration and Iran. It's a memo of understanding. So know the difference, please. It sets the framework for a peace treaty, maybe. But apparently it was signed yesterday in Versailles, puts a 60-day ceasefire and negotiation framework into effect. Supposedly includes reopening commercial traffic through the Straits of Hormuz. That makes sense, right? Removing the U.S. naval blockade, removing the blockade, but not removing the troops from the region, regardless of what anybody tells you. Gives oil export waivers, whatever that means, talks over sanctions and Iran's nuclear program. It's not the final deal. It's basically a framework, like I said, and it's a framework that I have no hopes that Iran is going to follow. So let's make no mistake about it. They're stalling. This is a stalling tactic. Problem is, Trump outsmarted them again because he got the framework put in place for the midterms. So gas prices are already starting to plummet. It's under $4 a gallon now. Stocks are going through the roof. And well, it's a great question. What about the $300 million to rebuild? So liberal news will tell you that the U.S. is footing that bill. They're not footing that. The Arab states are footing the entire $300 billion, and the United States will regulate how it's doled out, supposedly. Trump and Marco Rubio and J.D. Vance on a number of occasions says this is not $300 billion of taxpayer money. And I would venture to say the only taxpayer money that's going to go into Iran is more bombs being paid for if they don't tighten up. But here's the video. And then we're going to do Vance's little press newser today.
In the gilded halls of Versailles, President Trump marking the end of the G7 summit by signing a memorandum of understanding with Iran.
This was not easy, I can tell you.
Spending his last day in France, touting the agreement for an immediate.
Look, let me also say this. I'm going to back this up a little bit. I understand that Trump is 80 years old, but when you're on a world stage, fix your posture. Oh, you can't say that about, no, fix your posture. I don't know what to tell you. That's the one thing I don't like. And plus, never look if I had that profile right there, I would never sit sideways to a camera, ever.
Stay in France, touting the agreement for an immediate and permanent termination of military operations in Iran. According to a senior U.S. official, the United States required to lift its naval blockade within 30 days and terminate all types of sanctions against Iran. In exchange, Iran must allow toll-free passage through the Strait of Hormuz for 60 days, which existed before the war.
We stopped nuclear holocaust.
On Iran's nuclear program, the president's main reason for starting the war, Iran agreed, as it has before, that it will not procure or develop nuclear weapons. But some uncertainty still on the key issue of the nuclear materials Iran already has. The countries say they'll reach an agreement in the future, and the U.S. says that Iran will eventually have to dilute its enriched uranium.
They can never have a nuclear weapon.
The agreement's most controversial provision, a $300 billion framework for the reconstruction of Iran and the return of over $100 billion in assets that were frozen by the U.S.
It's not our money, it's their money.
The administration says the reconstruction costs will not fall to U.S. taxpayers. While many Republicans back the president's plan, some voicing opposition.
It's going to leave Iran stronger. It's going to leave our allies weak.
Senator Ted Cruz, a Trump ally, saying in an interview that Trump is getting, quote, very poor advice, adding, quote, history teaches that giving billions of dollars to theocratic lunatics who want to murder us is a bad idea. And while President Trump continues to maintain that this agreement will end any effort by Iran to develop a nuclear weapon, he conceded yesterday that it will not completely eliminate their military apparatus. The president saying it would be unfair for Iran not to have a ballistic missile arsenal while their neighbors in the Gulf do. Chanel?
All right. Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah, so guys, I have mixed opinions on this. I think it's a stall tactic, not only, again, by the Iranians, but a stall tactic also by the Trump administration, hoping to get through midterms and resume bombing. That's what I anticipate happening.
Yeah.
As far as them keeping ballistic missiles, there's no need for them to keep ballistic missiles. Ballistic missiles are for long-range attacks, not defensive purposes. There's no reason for it. So I understand what Trump is doing by saying, look, we're going to make some concessions until this 60-day period is up, and then we're going to put the hammer down if we need to. But I'm not all for this this agreement per se. What do you think, Russ?
Yeah, I mean, it's a wait and see, but based on history, I actually had to agree with Ted Cruz on that. And the mainstream media, of course, always does their spin on things. The $300 million. Well, no, we're giving them their money back that we have had freezing their assets. Well, where that's coming from.
So actually, Russ, what that's doing, that $300 billion is actually coming from the Gulf states. That's an additional to what's been being freezed. Did you just get that notice on Restream?
I did not.
Telling me to reload the page. I'm gonna hit this thing, see what happens to me.
Okay, I'll stay here.
Oh, it's the comments.
Ah.
Oh, comments. I lost all kick comments, Russ.
Yep, I still have all mine.
All right. Well, you're up. But actually, what it's showing, that's showing some. Oh, there goes kick. Yeah. So it actually, that $300 billion is coming from the Gulf states for reconstruction and for basically saying keep the straits open. Now, the other assets that are frozen are still based on stipulations. They're not just getting all of their assets. Okay, if you do let inspectors,
if you do A, B, and C,
exactly, we're going to give you some of your money back. So
yep, and Skidmore brought up a good point. I'm gonna put this up on the screen here. World War II, even after the Japanese leaders had signed the papers with MacArthur, certain Japanese generals and scientists met in the mountains to ascertain if they could still make a bomb.
Yeah,
and that's what, and it's going to happen because even though we have chopped off most of the head of the people in charge over in Iran, there's still people over there that are still pulling the strings that shouldn't be.
Well, and you're right, and it's the hardliner, the IRGC guys, the fundamentalists that they're not gonna give it up. They're not gonna give up power. So
yeah,
and that's a good point. Well, we really don't know who we're dealing with over there. Is it one of the hardliners? Is it a moderate? I don't think anybody really knows. So, and I agree that. Well, I would say all the fundamentalists are, but I wouldn't say the Persian people in general are. Hell, most of them weren't even Muslims for the most part before the radicals came around.
Oh yeah. Did you see this comment? The one I just started?
Yeah. Patrick, I think you're right. So Patrick's saying that more than likely the Jewish state's going to break the deal. First of all, the Jewish state shouldn't have any say within this deal. We can't have it both ways, guys. Oh, the Jews are controlling the government, but then all of a sudden now the Jews can break a deal. Jews didn't sign this deal. The Jews are still bombing the shit out of Lebanon, bombing the shit out of Hezbollah. And after October, I don't blame them. I don't blame them putting a buffer between their enemies. Now, if they're doing it simply to take more land to be resettled, that's problematic. That's a big deal. So
Yeah, and I don't think they are doing it just to have more land to resettle. I think they're doing it because of the stuff that happened on October 7th. That's just my opinion.
I would think, but who knows? And history will tell. Maybe we'll be wrong. Who knows? But J.D. Vance did have a follow-up because remember, J.D. Vance is in charge. Now Trump joked the other day saying, look, if this falls through, I'm just going to blame it on Vance. He said that cheek and tongue, I guess, a little bit. But J.D. Vance did do a little news presser today to try to clarify some of these things. Here it is.
I would say the 60-day period officially started today. It was signed late, and it may have even been signed technically, because of the time shift. I think it's signed technically today, Iran time. So yes, the deal started yesterday. We're going to start the 60-day clock today. Well, first of all, we believe international waterways should be free of tolls, and that's been our position. That's what you see, of course, in the 60 days of the MOU. And when you say it leaves it open, it doesn't really leave it open, except in the sense that, of course, the final negotiation is going to set the terms of what comes afterwards. We don't ever want this to happen again. Right? That's not about tolling. That's about ensuring that the straits are never used as a choke point for the global economy ever again. It's frankly not what the Iranians want. It's not what the Omanis want. It's not what the GCC wants either. So what we're going to do, of course, working with our allies in the region, is to ensure that that is reflected in the final deal. And if that's not reflected in the final deal, there's not going to be a final deal. I plan to go to Switzerland. Exactly when, we think these technical negotiations are going to start sometime this weekend. That's still the plan. But that could change because it's not an easy country, Iran, to get out of. And so we're trying to figure out exactly when that's going to happen. I suspect this weekend, but I'm not sure.
I kind of like the way Trump goes about doing that stuff. He delegates stuff out and he allows them to do their job. Much like Biden did with the border with camel toe, right? But we saw how that ended up. I don't discredit that 67% of Americans no longer support Israel. I don't discredit that. It very well may be true. And I would say with the amount of rhetoric that the left and mainstream media puts out there, I could see that be a valid number, if not low. I also saw a poll today that said only 26% of Americans or of liberals are planning on putting up a flag or showing any type of patriotic emotion for July 4th.
Of course. And you know what? It's their right. They can do that. But when they come and tell me that I have to put up shit for Pride Month, and I'm like, no, I'm not. And speaking of that, did you see Major League Baseball? I mean, that chaps my ass.
I was gonna pull that clip today, but I'm glad you reminded me of that because I forgot about it.
And God bless Rob Snyder. Rob Snyder says anybody gets fined, I'll pay for it.
Yeah.
And they shouldn't be in fine because it's a conflict of interest. You can't make somebody do something like that. It's it's not right. You're a professional athlete. You're a professional sport. Keep your nose out of fucking politics. All right.
It's a big problem, right? Because we saw that with professional sports where they mandated everybody get that fucking jab, right? And look what happened. And now they got pulmonary emboli going through their bodies. 20-year-old kids are dropping dead on the football field. And they mandated that. So much like they're mandating this pride shit.
Yeah. Rainbow Ramadan. I love that. I got to remember that.
But what ultimately that's the uniform that your employee is telling you to wear. So I get it.
Yeah.
I applaud those guys for doing that. Do I think they could get in trouble for it? Absolutely, but I applaud them to do it. Hopefully, it's another kneeling moment, right? It's a
Yeah.
Colin Kaepernick moment where no, we're standing our ground. We don't care. We're going to put this on our hats, and we're going to, you know what? Start kneeling. What are they going to say then?
Yeah.
Well, bastards. The other professional athletes, that reminded me of another thing, Russ. God, there's so much going on.
I know, right?
During the ticker tape parade today, all of those athletes met with Mondami in the mayor's chambers there, which blows my mind. They wouldn't. A lot of those guys wouldn't go to they're probably not going to go to the White House, but they would sit with a man who promises and ran on taking money out of millionaires' pockets. Every one of those athletes were millionaires.
Exactly.
How are they so happy to go in front of the mayor? They're giving them high fives and fist bumps and bro hugs and stuff like that. Literally getting into their pocket, not just with New York taxes, but basically telling them, no, we're going to tax you even more because you're a millionaire. Holy crap. Blows my mind.
It's like wiping before you poop. It don't make no damn sense, bro.
Pack of retards.
It is, man. I professional sports and actors in Hollywood need to just stay the heck out of politics. I mean, you are there to entertain me. I don't give a crap about what your political affiliation is. I don't want to hear it. Throw the fucking ball, catch the ball, hit the ball, make a decent movie.
Sammy Davis tap dance for me. That's your job. That is your fucking job, right? But it's just the hypocrisy behind it that kind of blew my mind. But I don't disagree with you here, Patrick. I don't disagree with you. Susie Q made it in the house. Good to see you, sweetie.
Susie.
Just your basic New York pricks. Wow, Skidmore.
That's awesome.
I don't disagree. Back to professional athletes. We had talked a little bit. Well, we made some fun about about the UFC fight and how people were making fun of Michael Obama. Guys, and also I have bullet points. Let me circle back. I have bullet points on the MOU if you want to talk about that any further. Exactly what's in it, what's not in it, per AI, and cycling through all of the news feeds. But the UFC fight was epic. And I'm not a UFC guy, but even the fights themselves, Russ, were freaking epic. I don't know, that one fight with the American guy, and I don't remember, it was a Latin American guy he was fighting. What a battle royale. It was great. So maybe I'm a fan. I don't know, but I doubt it. But there was, the FBI did unfoil a terrorist plot, like I had talked about before. One suspect, a 19-year-old Tyron Proper from Ohio, whose mother, by the way, turned him in, was arrested initially. And then the ringleader, Abraham Alvarez, also known as the Shepherd, is a Mexican national who overstayed his B-2 visa and later received Obama-era DACA protection. And according to DOJ filings, page 2, the group discussed targeting U.S. senators, representatives, prominent business executives, lawmakers who believed taking money from pro-Israel lobbyists were bad. The plan itself had, it says 2 phases here. It was actually 3 phases. They were going to drop incendiary devices off of drones, and then they were going to push the crowd outside the perimeter where sniper hides were set up. And then the third wave was to actually storm the White House proper, which I don't think they had enough people for that, but you never know. Federal officials say the plot was stopped cold before it happened. Here's the video, Russ.
5 men are in custody across 4 states after the FBI says it disrupted a plot to attack the White House during last Sunday's UFC event, which coincided with President Trump's 80th birthday.
I'd say it was unique due to the numbers involved, the level of planning involved.
According to court documents, investigators say the first phase of the attack involved explosive-laden drones and snipers targeting government officials and others attending the event. A second phase allegedly called for suspects to breach the White House gates.
It's a terrorist plot. That's not a few guys doing crazy stuff. That is a coordinated, planned terrorist plot. Thank God we thwarted it.
Authorities say 19-year-old Tyson Proper of Ohio, one of the suspects charged in the case, spent roughly $3,000 of his graduation money on weapons, ammunition, and tactical gear.
Those are rookie numbers, Russ. Rookie numbers.
Court documents say Proper's mother alerted authorities 4 days before the UFC event after becoming concerned about his recent firearm purchases and online communications. Investigators say those messages included expressions of hatred toward President Trump, Israel, billionaires, and reflected anti-government and extremist views. The FBI also says it uncovered an encrypted signal chat group on Proper's cell phone called Hunters. According to investigators, the group included 23 members who were allegedly discussing plans to carry out the attack.
All you guys that have these encrypted apps on your phone that think that the government doesn't have access to them, you're sorely mistaken. I promise you that.
Oh, yeah.
I know for a fact that anything you put on your phone, the government has access to.
President Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance, and tech trillionaire Elon Musk were all identified as potential targets. Although Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu did not attend the event, he was also listed.
It was a serious threat. It was an active plot, and it's ongoing.
23 people do not get to the point where they're going to commit a mass terror incident in Washington, D.C. without some serious funding, without some serious coordination.
FBI Director Kash Patel says law enforcement agencies became aware of the threat in time to prevent the attack before it could be carried out, saying the plot was stopped cold.
Authorities say the investigation remains active. More arrests are possible and additional search warrants are expected. In the past 2 years, there have been 3 attempts on the president's life, and the Secret Service reports an uptick in threat cases this year. George Thomas, CBN News.
There you go. So they're going to go after the funding for, they're going to, and also, speaking of funding, if you guys have any questions about that particular attack, give me, just put it in chat. But speaking of funding also, I just saw, and Patrick, you might know about this. I just saw that 5 Antifa members just got hemmed up because they were caught not only funding, but also being a part of Antifa, which is now a domestic terrorist organization. So the FBI is working behind the scenes. There's a lot of stuff going on that we don't know about. Probably good that we don't know about it because we'd never leave our house, right? But that was a coordinated attack. Did they have the ability to do it? Seems like they might have. It would have been a rough shot operation, but this is all part of that anti-capitalism, anti-billionaire, anti-Israel regime and the rhetoric that the left and legacy media keeps putting out there.
And South Carolina man was arrested, went on social media spouting off about wanting to kill assassinate the president, and had a firearm in the video, the whole 9 yards, and he pulled a Maduro, said, "Come and get me," and they did, and I mean within like a day,
they were knocking on his door.
They were knocking on the door, say, "Excuse me, what'd you say?" But as well, and they mentioned trillionaire Elon Musk. And that whole, once they announced that in mainstream media, the liberals lost their mind on that, because they announced it as the first trillionaires as an African American. Well, that's true, and the liberals were like, no.
Well, I got in an argument with a guy, not an argument, but typically when I troll somebody on Facebook, I'll put something out there and then I'll immediately say, turn off notifications for this post because I
Yeah.
don't even want to. But I had somebody actually on my friends list. I put that meme up and he goes, African American is designated for dark skinned Africans that live in America only. You can't use African American for a light skinned Caucasian from South Africa. I go, that sounds like you're not being very inclusive right now. But that's the mentality, right? That's what they think. No,
Yeah.
he's the first African American trillionaire, and his net worth is over $1 trillion. He doesn't have $1 trillion in the bank.
No.
Did anybody get into that SpaceX IPO? Did anybody, guys? If you have Cash App, you don't need a big financial advisor. You don't need a ton of money. If you have the app Cash App on your phone, you can invest in these stocks. As soon as I found out it was going to pop, I put a couple $100 in there, but you can put $5, you can put $10, you can put whatever, and you can buy partial shares of these companies. Why not do it if you have the extra money? Why not? Patrick said he's a proud African American immigrant. I don't know about that.
So going back to those guys, especially the guy where the mother turned him in, I saw somewhere on social media that she obviously had him committed to a mental hospital for evaluation or whatever, and then she turned him in like 3 or 4 days later. So I don't know how accurate that was.
Well, she from what I read, she recognized the warning signs. He became reclusive. He started dealing with people that she didn't know. He started accumulating firearms, which he never was doing before. Showed an interest in that. Was actually doing some tactical training with people she didn't know. So it raised a red flag, and it's got to be hard to do to turn your own kid in like that. I mean, that kid must have really been a pain in the ass to turn him in. For something like that.
She was tired of having to live in her basement.
Exactly. Russ, he said he was committed for homicidal ideations, said he was idolizing Hitler and talking trash about tiny hats. There you go. Let's see, he says, I didn't turn it off. Oh, yeah, Skidmore put something out about doing something to kittens, and don't mess with my cat, right? They had a documentary about it, right? And boy, he was taking hate. He still is taking hate mail about it.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. I mean, and I'm sure, I had it happen to me. Now that I'm an author, you have your people come up and says, I'm mad at you. I'm like, I better know why. When it comes to something that you did in one of your books. Like killing off a character or that they love. I know Chris had it when he killed off Jeff in book 1 or book whatever number it was. He's still to this day. Do we have a spammer?
Oh, we do. Congratulations, Super Hassan.
We have a spammer.
I got him.
Oh yeah.
His name is literally Super Hassan. Even if he would have said, Pete, how are you doing? I would have banned him for that name. Will asks how my physical training is going. Thankfully, Miss Melissa is keeping me on task. Will, I'm down to 216 pounds. Went to the Planet Fitness here in Rice Lake. It's about 40 minutes drive, but well worth it. She gets me in there 2 to 3 days a week. And Russ, after my last session there, they're probably going to have to remodel that joint. They're not used to somebody relocating so many LBs. And Melissa goes, why is everyone staring at us? I go, see what I just did on that bench, sweetheart? Now you know.
Oh, I thought it was that you went to the bathroom in there.
No, that's well, that is relocating some.
Oh man, it's awesome having you back up here finally.
It's good to be back on the podcast finally and start to get my act together. Because I don't keep up with the news unless I'm really preparing for the podcast. So
yeah, well, and you don't have anything to worry about. You were worried about getting the building done and the damn turtles and all that good stuff. And now you don't have to worry about that.
No, now I'm just back in a routine. I mean, up at
You know,
at
we got to
5:30,
watch out for
6 every
bears.
morning.
Yeah.
And I haven't even seen a bear here yet. I haven't even seen one. I'm sure
Yeah,
I will.
other than the one you had on your Ring camera on your way up.
Yeah,
You
but
know.
he's scattered.
Yeah.
Apparently, yeah, I know it's about time I got up here, real comes. I feel you. Come by and see me, brother. Take the trip. Let's do lunch.
Hey, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm contemplating growing the goatee back a little bit.
Yeah, you need to, man.
I don't know. We'll see. Skidmore, coyotes were bad up here past couple of nights. Lloyd Birchwood Bob came and saw me
Oh,
today.
did he?
And he told me he had a Ring camera up on a bear den. He said that bear brought in 23 fawns to his cubs.
Oh, wow.
Throughout the last few months.
Holy cow.
23 fawns. So there's bears got food, so we're going to look at an uptick in population and a downtick in deer population.
Yeah.
Through that soul
It's
patch.
been you know, I had somebody talk I was either at, I think I might have been either at Red Rock or either at the Legion, and somebody was talking about that. Because I told them we saw a mother bear and her cub come across right up here right away as we were getting ready to go on F. And he goes, "Did you hit them?" I'm like, "No, sir." You know, he goes, "You should have hit them. You know, they're killing all my deer, blah, blah, blah."
Some guy named Immigration gave us a follow. Thank you, Immigration. Look, guys, I make no mistakes about it. I'm not your average, look, I'm going to go along with the flow type of podcast. If you're looking for that, don't follow me. It's no big deal. I won't get my butt hurt, I promise. But I do speak my mind, and my mind typically is right-leaning. I'm sorry, but until the left does something of substantial, then I'm going to be right-leaning. So,
All right.
Russ, special note tonight. Special note, hold on. I did not pull one clip from Fox News.
I noticed that. Egghead Warrior would be proud.
There you go.
Okay. So I had to ask this one. I'm going to put this up on the screen, and I'm going to ask you directly. How much money will we need to raise to get you to do that?
Yeah, it doesn't work. I mean, here's the deal. If I grow my hair, what ends up happening, and I'll be honest, what ends up happening when I start to grow this out up here, it becomes an afro. Right? It doesn't there's nothing I can do with it. I can't feather it back like I was in high school and stuff like that. Feathering, if you know feathering your hair back, you're as old as me.
Yeah, I remember that.
But no, it's not like that anymore. It becomes a big ass afro with friggin' spots. It sucks. But hell, I'll give it a shot. Why not?
Well, we just need to know it. We need to know the number that would get you to do it. And we donate the money to your favorite charity, which cannot be the Red Rock Bartender Fund.
Exactly. Immigration is asking, y'all support me or no? We support you if you came through under the legal process. If you came through with a coyote, you come here, you get handed a whole bunch of benefits for doing nothing but having a pulse. I don't support you, sir, or ma'am, you're a criminal. But if you came over through the legal process and you work and you provide some type of value to America, yes, we certainly support you. I have many, many friends. My brother from another mother, Val, came over legally, was a police officer, and he does his thing. So, yes, we support you if you did that. If you didn't, I don't support you. Sorry. Give me your address. I'll send Tom Holman to your address.
Yeah. Well, Miss Julie, kind of along the same lines with Real Comms. Julie's brother lives over in Glidden, Wisconsin.
Okay.
You know, send him over, Julie.
Yeah, we'll hook him up.
Yeah,
we'll certainly hook him up. Yeah, Cat. Look, Cat's a Native American. We love him, Cat. Sorry you made a bad deal and sold your land off. Will Gomez says he fully supports legal administration and please accept the American dream, but also our traditions and look, Will was a little more diplomatic there. I appreciate that, Will. That's very well said, sir.
It was very unwill-like.
No, exactly. But yeah, immigration, we're glad to have you, brother. But again, we don't pull any punches here on the podcast. We're not looking to make any friends. We've already got a big tribe of supporters and stuff like that. But if you fit in, we'll be glad to have you, brother. Glad to have you. Or
Absolutely.
sister. I don't know what your gender is. I don't mean to misgender you.
Yeah, we're not going to assume. So, man, you mentioned in your monologue this Tulsi Gabbard biolab stuff. I had missed that, so you
Yeah,
had to
so
enlighten me on that one.
yeah, so I was wondering exactly what happened to Tulsi and what she was doing now that she kind of got a new job. But for years I've talked about, certainly since we've talked about the podcast, certainly since the Ukrainian war started, that there was more to this war than what we knew. Why are we sending them so much money? Well, Tulsi Gabbard has released declassified records showing taxpayer funding for more than 120 foreign biolabs, including dozens in Ukraine. Raises kind of serious questions on what the Biden administration was trying to hide and why they were downplaying some of these conspiracy theories, which by now we're batting 1,000%, guys. And what they're doing in these biolabs, what's the biosecurity? What's the pathogen storage? What are they using gain of function on some of these viruses, which is what brought us COVID, regardless of what anybody tells you. But here's the clip, Russ.
After months of searching through intelligence community holdings and files, today I'm releasing new evidence of long-standing U.S. government funding of more than 120 biolabs in over 30 countries. Now, these biolabs include labs in places like Ukraine, which could be at risk of compromise due to the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war. In fact, the intelligence community had previously warned that a U.S.-funded biolab in Ukraine likely housed dangerous pathogens and remained vulnerable to long-standing threats of Russian attack, seizure, or damage. Now, until now, evidence regarding the full existence and funding of these laboratories had been knowingly withheld from you, the American people. Many of these U.S. government-funded biolabs are currently or have previously engaged in research using hazardous and highly contagious pathogens, and in some cases included dangerous gain-of-function research with very little visibility or oversight. Now, President Trump clearly understands the serious threat dangerous gain-of-function research poses to the American people. And this is why he took decisive action over a year ago. On May 25th, 2025, he signed an executive order to end federal funding of gain-of-function research around the world. Here at ODNI, I issued new guidance to the intelligence community directing increased collection on these laboratories and facilities overseas. And we're already seeing the results of this increased collection. We're learning new details, for example, on clinical trials that are underway at these facilities and that are raising significant ethical, financial, and security concerns regarding the supposed public health initiatives and U.S. national security. Now, despite the obvious potential for catastrophic global impact that research on dangerous pathogens in biolabs can have, politicians and so-called health professionals like Dr. Fauci, as well as entities within the Biden administration's national security team, lied repeatedly to the American people about the existence of U.S.-funded and supported biolabs. Not only did they lie, they threatened those who attempted to expose the truth.
There you go. Patrick had a thing I starred up here, which, look, guys, I am not a fan of communism, but I've said it time and time again that NATO has done Putin wrong in the past. We made promises to him that we did not that we didn't hold up our end of the bargain. And Patrick says it raises serious questions about some of the other stuff Putin said at the beginning of the war, and some of that stuff also because he was the first person to come out and talk about biolabs. He knew the biolabs were there. He talked about it. You're right. And they dismissed it, right? Because Putin bad. And Putin is bad. There's no question about it. But the fact of the matter is he was right about this, and we were right about this. There's more than one reason why we were sending so much money into Ukraine, other than it being a huge money laundering operation, which it certainly was. But yeah, no, they had biolabs, and it's only a matter of time before one of those drones strikes one of those biolabs. Will brought up that drone attack in Russia. Did you see that, Russ?
Yep.
It blew the lid off of a silo. So the Ukrainian Zelensky basically said, "Look, if you're going to do it to us, we're going to do it to you." So they're going after their infrastructure more and more. And I'm very surprised that some of these drones are making it through. Honestly. Yeah, you're right, Egghead. It's still a money laundering operation, 100%. Very cool. All right, guys, you know what time it is. It's time for this week's prep of the week. Russ, I'll start off. I got nothing. This week. I got nothing the last 2 weeks. I've been
you've
dodging.
been on the road and getting settled up here, and completely understandable.
Yeah, and it takes about 3 days for me to get this cabin right. And even now, I hooked up the washer and dryer, and there's a damn leak in it. So I'm sure I didn't blow out one of those lines. And now that I've got some kind of seal or something.
Yeah. Did the dryer folks come out today?
No, I fixed that myself.
Okay. Well, I'll start up at the. I didn't have a whole lot this week either, other than just trying to get caught up in doing my own writing and stuff like that. I got to see what I can do next week maybe. Miss Terry.
Go ahead.
I'll start with Miss Terry up here. Okay. She canned chicken and beef, repackaged flour into Mylar bags, had well problems, but hopefully they're resolved, and published a word search on KDP. Go, Miss Terry.
I mentioned that at the beginning of the podcast, Miss Terry. So, guys, go check out her Amazon author page and support Miss Terry and all of her endeavors. She's a busy bee.
She is.
And if you need the link, I'll post it on my socials. All right, what's Sandwich say? I got her. Sandwich says he freeze-dried some zucchini and yellow squash, put up thick pork chops and chasing sales on wings and ribs tomorrow. Outstanding. Where are those sales at? Are they, well, probably not in the damn stores up here since our grocery store sells bait and ammo and bourbon.
And beer.
Yeah, a lot of beer.
A lot of beer. Let's see here. Yeah, I got Jay here. Got a new can and had a lovely adventure to Restaurant Depot.
He loves that place. But also, if you guys are in the Volusia County area in Florida, or I'm sure other gun stores have this too, there's a 22 can for sale for $179.
Oh, nice.
But remember, no tax stamp either. So, let's see what we got here from Miss Julie. I'm blaming Charlie Sandwich due to the great Zello discussion. I went out and bought 27 pounds of ground beef, 20 more boxes of various pasta, 20 pounds of sugar for Roy's sweet tea. You're such a good wife. And a bunch of other things for Food Press. I promise, actually, a thank you to Sandwich. Okay.
I was just thinking Charlie.
Yeah.
All right, let's see here. What do we got? Guy. Let's see what Guy did. Guy got some canned food and some training in.
I saw you guys on the cameras out there training it up. Excellent. What's Will says? Prep of the week, went to Publix. I had a sale on Folgers. Buy one, get one. I got 6 cans. It's not McNutter butter coffee, but anything will work in the apocalypse. Agreed.
Very true.
Like his dad, go ahead.
Got several months of dog food for the pups. So Loki and Micah will be able to eat for several more months.
Something I need to go stockpile at our BOL, which I haven't done yet. I got to get it out of my garage and send it over to our place.
Yeah.
Let's see. Patrick 7, getting ready to do the $100 tree camping challenge with me and my son. It's actually what it sounds like. You have $100. You have to buy everything you use at. Oh, I saw a video of a guy that did this.
That's actually pretty cool.
Bought some really cool stuff with $100, and he made it. That's a good thing. Hey, Patrick, video it, brother.
Yeah, absolutely.
We can blur the youngin's face out if you want. Keep you out of trouble. Tom Bryce
restocked his Woodford Reserve double oak for his trip up here to Wisconsin and onward to Montana. God bless that man.
Keep it going, brother. Keep it going. I went into the Legion the other night. Well, you saw me. You were pulling out as I was pulling in. And as soon as I walk out, Jerry, the guy's name's Jerry, right?
Jerry.
Yeah. Jerry made a comment, which was kind of funny. I won't repeat it now. But he goes, "Got your double here." And it was pouring it before I walked up to the bar.
Yep.
And I'm like, I was basically just coming to shoot some pool, but okay, it'd be rude now not to. So 5 doubles later, and there we were.
Yep.
Diana says, got some number 10 freeze-dried food. Outstanding. I saw a freeze dryer and Marketplace up here used 3 times, $1,800 medium.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know where it actually went. You got this one from Susie?
What's Susie got here? Planted late summer crops. Awesome. She's on the ball. Beans, onions, potatoes, and carrots. How's your summer? How's your spring crops going? How'd they do, Susie? Let us know in the comments.
Mm-hmm. Salty Heifer says, purchase items to get food buckets together. I love doing food buckets, but I won't do one particular thing in a food bucket. I'll do multiple things, like a grab and go bucket. Because look, if shit's hitting a fan and I have to grab a 5-gallon bucket, I don't want it to be 5 gallons of pinto beans. I want it to be a mixture of stuff. So what I'll do is I'll Mylar everything together for like a 3 or 4 day or even longer type of thing, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I'll do it that way.
Absolutely.
But good deal.
And Miss Julie says she also grabbed more shelf-stable boxed milk and more cans of Hunt spaghetti sauce from Dollar Tree on the crazy shopping run day. That boxed milk can be made into cheese.
Ooh.
Interesting. Now, Miss Julie, I'm going to ask you the same thing that Pete asked about Patrick. Video it. Tell us how it's done. That's kind of interesting. I mean, I understand milk, because Teresa and I have gone out and, got fresh raw milk and made butter. Pretty simple. You take it, you put it in a mixer and slowly mix it, and it eventually turns to butter. Add some salt to it, and you got salted butter. But I'd be interested in how boxed milk into cheese. That'd be kind of interesting.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit. And guys, I know we're running late, but it's been a while. I want what your thoughts are so far on Alone. Who you think's going to win this season? We already had one guy tap out. So let's see. Make it known. I'll write it down. Who do you think's going to win? And then we'll revisit this at the end of the season and see what's going on.
Yeah.
What do you think about Jack's appearance and some of the things going on there?
Yeah, they've only showed the first 5 contestants, so we got to watch again next week for the other 5. And thus far, the dude from the Hispanic dude,
Portugal.
The Portugal guy, I really liked what he's doing. I also kind of like the Inuit guy. I really liked his little berry picker. That just makes so much sense, I think Jax is going to be doing really well. We'll wait and see how it goes, and we'll see how far she progresses. I hope she does well.
I hope she does well too.
I got to root for Jax.
You got to root for Jax, of course you do. And remember, guys, all that stuff is left into the interpretation of the producers. They're going to give you the scenes they want you to have. And they're not going to give you all of your wins. They're going to show you the struggle. It's much like writing, right? You bring the protagonist up. You show the struggles, then roll
smack him down.
Then you roll that arc where he learns from his struggles, right? It's good stuff. Somebody had a comment up here I wanted to talk about. Hey, Russ, talk to him. Get with him on that thing we got.
Okay. Yeah. Real quick on that, Egghead, I'll get with you on the back end, but it's on History Channel. If you have if you have a History Channel on your list of channels, it's on History Channel on Wednesdays at 9 Eastern. So luckily, I was able to make it after the podcast last night to get it on after I got my Superbox working.
Mhm.
But get with me, Egghead. I'll tell you about our little Superbox deal we got going. So
Yep.
I'm
And
getting
you're
ready to
right.
get a second one.
You're right, EA1. Guys, I don't know how these guys do it. I don't know how Alan
Yeah.
did it, Chris does it, Jax does it. We could all sit here and say, this is what we would do. Until they drop you off of that boat, drop you off of that helicopter, and you're alone, I don't know. I don't know how I would do it. That's why I told Melissa the other night. I go, I don't know how I would react. I'd like to think I know how I would react.
Yeah, everybody would like to think how they react,
Yeah,
You
but
you and I talked to.
I'm gonna miss my family. I'm gonna have
Oh, yeah.
frustrations. It's gonna happen, and you're gonna
Yeah.
forget stuff the more frustrated you get. So, I'm looking forward to this season, and I'm rooting for
Yeah.
Jax. I just love her, and she's doing something that a very small population of this
Oh,
world
yeah,
are actually doing,
absolutely.
and she's
And,
got balls bigger than mine,
Oh,
much
absolutely.
like Michelle Obama.
The not to be much of a spoiler, but the little tool that the guy made, and then the guy before him they showed was picking the berries that was really, really close to his site. And you and I talked about it in the green room beforehand. I mean, I would like to think that I would do what I thought, which would be, go 100 meters, 200, 500 meters out, whatever you're comfortable with, and start picking the berries there and working my way back in, because I know my energy is going to be decreasing. So that way I don't have to go out as far every time.
Exactly.
I would like to think that, but I don't know if I would.
Fib,
And I'll agree with Mike. If I run out of nicotine and coffee, and bourbon, then we're screwed.
Yeah, but don't forget that guy was using that spruce pitch, and he said
Yeah,
it was
the
every
spruce-
good
the
as
spruce pitch.
nicotine.
Yeah.
So, but you're right. I'm with you there. I mean, hell, that's one of my preps. I freaking
Yeah.
stop by other states where my stuff is cheaper, and I buy a fucking truckload of it, so I don't run out.
I know, right?
So,
Yeah, I've been rationing mine.
yeah, no, I loaded up. Yeah, go. Look, the problem with the castaway style, if we're on the same page here, is I wouldn't. There's no way I would like sit there and talk to a fucking volleyball. I would get inside of my own dark, twisted head, and it would be terrible. I would spend the entire time there just thinking terrible things and not being able to express it to anybody, and it would suck.
Yeah, your video footage like, nope, can't use that, can't use that, can't
It
use
would
that.
be beep 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 mother beep 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 mother beep beep beep. Yeah, it would be something like that, and I'd be like, "Look, you gotta at least give us something to work with." And I'll be like, "Beep you."
Yeah, that would be hilarious. But the Dollar Tree thing that Patrick's doing, that actually sounds pretty cool. And Teresa and I actually talked about it last night. We might test our bug out bags while we're up here, because I mean, where our campsite is, and we had a little bit of campground area which is wooded. That during the week when there's nobody here, we can go and set up our shelters, and we're close by to our camper if we needed it. And
40 acres right back
Yeah.
here. I'll give
And
you
you
a
know-
mule. 40 acres and a mule.
yeah, man, I pulled up the Onyx trail riding thing and turned on, where the land is, and you pull it up, and of course it says Johnson, 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 which are the folks that own Summit, and then there's Pete and Melissa Robertucci.
Yeah, we're deep in it.
Yeah, the ticks have been bad up here, Tom. What'd you say, Pete, the other day after you got done cutting grass for the first time? You had like 3 or 4 on you.
Yeah, 3 on me.
And we had 3 or 4 on us. We haven't had any lately, at least not that Teresa's told me.
Hey, look, as long as I don't get any of those what the hell is that mogul's name? The guy we always make fun of. Anyway, as long as I don't get any of those damn ticks that make me allergic to eating beef, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'll let them feed on me for a little bit. It's no big
Yeah.
deal, but I don't want any of those.
But I tell you, I ended up with a tick
Yes.
right here, in between my ring finger and my pinky finger, and
So French
was-
tickler.
evidently. But it was like I finally got it out, and then it kind of like got a little infected, and we kept put some of my chronic silver on it and peroxide washing it out, and but it finally healed up. It was weird. I've never had a tick there.
I've had some ticks and some weird spots, but
Oh yeah,
not
I have too.
seen my
I was
fingers.
telling Teresa, I remember it distinctly. I must have been in like middle school or junior high, and Mom took me to the doctor for the school physical and everything else before school, and I had a tick right here hanging out of my ear, and my mom was appalled, because my mom, as are a lot of moms from that generation, we don't go to town unless you got clean underwear on, and she's very proud of her kids, all nice and clean. Here I am with a tick hanging out of my ear like a freaking earring.
Skidmore's got some good advice here. Plant beautyberry. Apparently, it's a bug and tick repellent. So I'm sure you kind of mash it up and rub it all over you.
Oh my goodness, Julie, I'm gonna fuss at you. You see, so first time we ever went to Roy and Julie's house, we did like a bag drag. Went through it. What could you do better? That sort of thing. And she still hasn't replaced it and packed it back up. And that was 3 years ago. Shame on you, Miss Julie.
Yeah, Skidmore, I agree. It's something I don't have much experience in. That maybe when Jax gets done being a superstar on Alone, I'll take a couple classes from her.
Yeah, we need to.
All right, what else we got? That's it. That's all I got, Russ. I'm gonna let you run it out, brother.
Well, folks, once again, Pete, glad you're up here, man. It's going to be the start of a good summer. We've got to push each other to get this right and done for our folks. That way, they'll quit yelling at us about it and get that training, guys. Pete and I are planning to do some training up here. We've got a couple of folks interested in doing some pew training, so we're going to take care of them while we're up here. But other than that, all I got to say is have a good one, folks.
Very cool. Thanks, Russ. Guys, it's good to be back. We're settling in. I'm getting into my summer groove, getting a lot of writing done, like I said earlier. So we're looking at some stuff to be released. While you're waiting, go again, see Miss Terry's Amazon page and help her out in her endeavors. And again, guys, be safe. Shit, can't be safe. Won't be dangerous.
Thanks for watching the Eden Army Podcast. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And remember, be safe. Can't be safe. Be dangerous.